Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. We have a couple congressional hearings coming up over the next few weeks, one with the Senate on December 1st and another one on the 13th coming from the House side of things. This Senate one is going to be very, very interesting because it's going to give us a little bit of an idea of how aggressive Congress is going to be towards Sam Bankman-Fried. He's given them a lot of money. Are they going to repay him from all those donations by just letting him off scot-free, or are they actually going to try to get to the bottom of this? So first, we're going to hear from a little bit of tape audio that you guys might find interesting about a guy that met with Sam and called him a fraud to his face. And then after that, we're going to be looking into some detail about this Senate hearing because at least at the top level, it looks like it's just going to be such a weird little thing to be watching here because it's not even the right committee that's going to be going over it, right? So let's get started, everybody. First, let's listen to this audio here, and it's about 3 minutes long, but I want you guys to listen to it because it is absolutely wild.
I had a meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried for the first time in March this past year. I never met the man. He asked to meet with me at a conference. And I sat down with him. I said, what is your end goal? He says, well, I want to compete with you. I said, great. I'm all for competition. What do you want to do? He says, well, I want to compete with you in crypto. I said, why would you do that? I said, I'll give you one better. How about if I give you my crypto franchise that's worth $30 million and we'll go from there? He says, well, what do you want? I said, you know what I want. Let me be your risk manager. I'll clear it to make sure it's done properly. He says, well, you won't deploy my model. I said, your model is crap. Why would I deploy a model that's going to introduce risk to the system? Of course, I'm not going to deploy your model. He turned me down, flat out turned me down. And that's right away I said to him, I said, you know what, you're a fraud. You're an absolute fraud. You're supposedly worth $26 billion and you're an altruist. And I said, if you're an altruist at $26 billion, how come there's not a $10 billion donation going to somebody right this moment in time? How about a $15 billion donation? I said, you know what? I said, my net worth doesn't start with any B's. I'll give you 3-to-1 that I have more money than you. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 4-to-1. I got more money in my right pocket than your net worth. I said, you're a fraud, and I'm going to make sure that we get this out there. And that was it. So we went to Congress. I testified, and I've been to Congress 25 years. I've never seen a Washington, D.C. like I saw that time, from the regulators to the members of Congress singing hymns that I never heard before. And I got berated in a congressional hearing, but I would not back off. I said that you could lose 85 to 90% of your value overnight. And I said, he will not commit to keeping this just to crypto. I said, the reason is because he wants to deploy it across all asset classes. I said, that is a biblical disaster if you people allow this to happen. Well, I didn't know how right I was going to be in a short period of time because he lost 85% of his FTT tokens in literally one day. So the point being is, we went through this whole thing, and then I worked back with the agency, and I said, they wanted to approve it for just crypto. I said, well, that would be lovely, except that'd be an arbitrary decision to approve a regulatory change for one asset class. And they argued with me, said, no, it's not. We have the ability to do it. I said, well, we're going to have an argument here because I will sue. And so we'll sue the agency over this because we think it's wrong. And I met with every agricultural producer in this country, and I explained to them exactly if their asset class went under this type of model, what could happen to their hedges at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night when they're unbeknownst to what's going on, when they're being auto-liquidated and they think their crops are hedged. I said, this is the most detrimental thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm upset by this, but I'm a measured upset. I'm a very measured upset because nobody else was calling BS on these clowns but me. My friends at the Intercontinental Exchange are the only other exchange that said, we do not like this as well. Everybody else wanted to talk about the innovation.
All right, so you can kind of see how this conversation went down. You could already see that it seems like the people that had close contact with Sam kind of realized something was going on here. And the people that did try to go to Congress was kind of drunk on all the money that Sam Bankman-Fried was giving to all them, senators and House members alike, mostly Democrats, but there was some Republicans as well. And you can see that Sam was able to maneuver himself fairly well in the congressional system, and the Congress was protecting him, and that's pretty sad. But are we really surprised there's corruption in the government? Not really, right? Now, if you guys look at the hearing, it's scheduled for 10 a.m. Eastern time, I believe. But the committee that's doing it is the Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, not the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, nothing like that. It's all about agriculture, nutrition, and forestry. Now, the reference here is hearings to examine lessons learned from the FTX collapse, focusing on why Congress needs to act. So they're not really going to get down to the bottom of this, I don't believe. I believe it's going to be a big show for all of you guys to say, hey, FTX was bad. Sam didn't do anything wrong, but FTX was bad. Something bad happened here. And because there were no fail-safes for this or something like that, now we as Congress have to act and add more regulation onto the crypto space. And I'm all for regulation. I think we need it. But the regulation that comes out of stuff like this, it doesn't do anything. Because Sam was a bad actor. He committed fraud. He did illegal acts. If you break the law, why is the law even there? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys right now. Now, if we dive into this a little bit more here, and we look at, a little bit more in detail, we're not really given much detail here, honestly. It just says why Congress needs to act, lessons learned from the FTX collapse. If you want to watch the hearing, I guess you could watch it here. But the witness is this guy, Rostin Benham, or Benham, maybe that's how you pronounce his name. When he was talking a few minutes ago about regulators, this is one of the regulators he was talking about. He's the chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Commissions in Washington, D.C. Now, when you search this guy up, actually, let me just go here very fast. Where we go? There. No, where was he at? Okay, here we go. There we go. Rostin Benham was sworn in as CFTC's 15th chairman on January 4th, 2022, after being unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate. President Biden nominated Chairman Benham to lead the agency, okay? Now, he's been around for a little bit of time so far, but the big thing here, now we go over to Washington Post story, they talk about inside Sam Bankman-Fried's courtship of a Washington regulator, and guess who that regulator is? Rostin Benham. So, if you guys have a local senator that's on that hearing, I would probably call them and ask them to grill this, guy. This guy, let's not cuss on this program here with YouTube. But you can basically see this was Sam Bankman-Fried's guy that got him out in all these meetings and got him access as long as Sam was able to dish out the funds to Congress here. So, none was more important than Rostin Benham, powerful allies in Washington. Everybody needs allies in Washington if you want to get legislation moved, and it looks like this was Sam's spearhead for his campaign to get some really shady legislation passed, which Congress is very much willing to do because they just have no idea how crypto works, how the blockchain works, how the technology works behind all of this, right? And so you guys could read this story in your own time, right? But it's going to be very, very hard for me to trust Congress, but I will be watching this over the next few days here. It's currently the 29th. Time will fly by over the next few days. It's the 29th. And yeah, it's in 2 days. It's this Thursday. So I'm going to be probably watching that live if I can. It's going to be very, very interesting to kind of get an idea of what's going on. And if you guys want to learn more about Terrence A. Duffy, he's just a businessman. He used to work for the government as well. So there's a whole bunch of stew of everybody that knows each other here. And I want to see if this bill does end up going through. I don't think it will now because of all the drama around it. Will this guy and some of the other hedge funds out there or businesses actually sue the government for malpractice or whatever they would sue under legalese terms, right? So I want you guys to do a little bit more research on him. I'm going to be doing some as well, but it just seems like a wild ride, and it seems like there was so much corruption in here, or, favors, quid pro quos, you do something for me, I do something for you, back and forth, and that's the lifestyle of the government. But guys, just understand, the people running this are the Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee. I'll be interested to see how they do this, but I'm hoping that they'll do a good job and they will grill this guy to figure out what he knows. But usually, it might just be one party. Maybe only Republicans will go after him, or maybe only Democrats go after him. We'll have to wait and see. But it just seems like I don't really have much faith in the Senate. We'll talk about the House side a few days from now, okay? But after this is over. Thanks, everybody. And please make sure to subscribe because YouTube does not like this type of content. Thanks.